Hi, everybody. It's Mary Ellen from Create With Me, and it's time for Stamp It Your Way. And just in case you are new and you're watching, I'm from Central Illinois, out in the country, and I've been a demonstrator for 20 years. And I want to introduce my sidekick. So go ahead, Betsy.
Hi, everyone. I'm Betsy Kreider. I'm with Be Creative Stamping. I've been a demonstrator for, I just celebrated 14 years. I'm into my 15th year. Yay. And Mary Ellen just had her 20th. So this year was her 20th anniversary, which is kind of cool. I live in central Pennsylvania. We are Penn State for any football fans out there, because football season's already starting to they're already starting to talk football season around here. I was at an event this weekend, and that was one of the big discussions was football season and Penn State games. So we are getting ready. So
it is really funny. That is really funny about us because we are both in university towns. So we live in University of Illinois. So I'm just going to say for ours, ILL. So we should say no football.
Oh, no, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. That would be so hard to do. The nice thing is here. So for folks that don't know us that well, of course, we're best friends. So so when I go to Mary Ellen's house and I stay, one of the things that I've started to do, and I started this years ago, right?
Yes,
started years ago. The first time I was there, I hide something in her house that has Penn State on it. So whether it be
it's like sometimes a little pen, it's a little magnet. I find it though, like weeks later, it's in some obscure place, and I'm like, "What is this Penn State stuff? Where does this come from?"
I think I did it. Did you find the? I don't know. I don't remember you ever saying. Did you ever find the little keychain that had Penn State? I think I attached it to your scissors.
No, I did. I'm not gonna tell you everything. So I get her back because I haven't been to Betsy's, but I get her back. I send her like Illinois socks and different things every time.
I wear them.
I
wear them.
That's what you get for being rivals in football. So,
exactly.
Hey, Betsy, what's going on? What's coming up in the next week? That's super exciting.
Oh my gosh, this is a crazy time of year, right? Aren't you just about ready to like, oh my God, it's like information overload coming at you in every direction. Yeah, it's like so much going on. So for those that have been watching, we had a free shipping day, which was amazing. By the way, April 4th. So April 4th was not only pre-order for the new catalog, which I'm going to show you here on the cover in a second.
For demonstrators.
April 4th was the pre-order for demonstrators on the new catalog, but it was also the beginning of the last chance sale. It was the highest grossing sale day in Stampin' Up history. And 35 years of Stampin' Up history, largest growth. It was huge. It was so much bigger than what they ever projected it was going to be. So that is amazing. I know I spent quite a bit. I had quite a few in orders, right?
I know. My sales are pretty good for April. Just saying.
It's all good. It's all good.
I mean, it wasn't just me, but it's a lot of me.
It was a lot of me. Thank goodness for a discount, right? Thank goodness we get a discount on what we order.
Yeah, absolutely. And we wouldn't still be doing it for 15 and 20 years if we didn't love the product. So
oh my gosh,
we're happy stampers too.
Absolutely. And I was at a retreat this weekend where somebody said to me that Stampin' Up product, and this was a scrapbooker, and she said Stampin' Up product is just so far superior to other products, and that their quality is just so much higher. And it truly is. I stand by that. I do believe it is.
I agree with you on that. I wouldn't be doing what I did if it wasn't a great product. I've always been really happy. So
right.
They just get better and better.
And a company that stands behind their product too. So if there is a problem, a company that's going to stand behind their product, and they're going to make sure that if there's an issue, they're going to correct it or do what they can to correct it or offer refunds, or of course your demonstrators, we're here to help you with that too. If you ever have an issue with a product, reach out to us and let us know that. We don't want you to have something that you're unhappy with. Please let us know.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of happy, right? We want to get back to the happy things and the good things, right? So one is the last chance sale, up to 60% off. A lot of those items have already started to sell out, but there's still quite a bit on there that is 60% off. That goes through May 1st. There's also, of course, the clearance rack. Make sure you check that out. That's always a good thing to add on. Any embellishments or papering like that off the clearance rack. But starting on May 2nd is this pretty little sweet thing right here.
I couldn't help myself. I could.
You had to hold yours up too. Yes, absolutely
help
right. We had to hold them together.
Oh,
Right?
yes.
Don't you love it? So
Yes, I do.
one of the things that Stampin' Up! Has done this year is a color refresh. Now they color revamp, refresh, whatever you want to call it. They've mixed up the colors, which is a very, very good thing. This is something that they do about every 5 to 6 years. I love it. I was so excited for it. I was ready for it because I tend to just always use the same colors over and over again because they're the colors I like. I need fresh new colors.
Yeah.
So they took away 11 old ones. They took out 11 retiring. Sad to see them go, but they brought in 11 returning or new colors, and I'm super excited about those. Do you have a favorite, Mary Ellen?
So of the new ones?
Yeah.
Well, I think probably I've been leaning towards two. And that's both returning colors, but new to the color families, and that's Berry Burst. And you know what I'm going to say, Lemon Lime Twist. I just, the brighter, the better. Oh, what do you think about that, Betsy?
I'm with you. The funny thing is that for me being a neutrals girl and me being liking all the browns and all of that, that's actually the two of the colors that I went to right away. And the Azure Afternoon, did I say that right? Because I butcher that.
Know. Me too.
I cannot say Azure Afternoon. Lemon Lime Twist and Berry Burst was like one of the first cards I made and pulled out were those colors. But I have to tell you, and I won't show you the card, but I'll just show you the back of the card because I just love it. Is Lemon Lolly.
Yes.
Look how pretty and buttery that yellow is. Oh my gosh. It's like my new favorite yellow.
Yeah, I'm kind of okay. So we're gonna keep going there. Pebble Path.
Ooh.
Path. I have it in front of me. It's like my new favorite neutral.
I do.
Yeah, that Pebble Path. I kind of dig it. I've been using it for branches and stones and just everything. I just love it.
It's like a charcoal gray, yeah. But it's got like a brownie tone to it or a light tan tone.
Got that gray brown, well, gray granite. I love the gray granite because it's kind of that I'm going to use it today. It's like a mix of brown and gray. And this Pebble Path is taking that like up to a little darker level. And I love them. I love it.
Me too. The color refresh is a great thing. And now for those that are hobby demonstrators, a lot of people say, oh, they're retiring these colors. What am I going to do? Well, you're going to keep using what you have. There's nothing that says you can't use what you have in stock. Keep using it. Stock up on reinkers if they're not sold out. That's always a good thing. But there's going to be demonstrators that end up selling it like us. We sell some of our supplies. Mary Ellen's got a buy one, get one sale coming up. So things like that. Hit us up and say, hey, I've got this old soft suede, which I probably will never give up because it's a brown and I like it. If you need a reinker for it, reach out to us. Or if you need, keep using what you have. Don't feel like you have to just stop using it.
No.
Right.
Yeah. I think I always recommend that you just bring in, if you can, just bring in 1 or 2 new colors to freshen things up. No one expects you to be like us and buy everything, but
don't be crazy like we are.
Bring in your favorites and do a little at a time.
Exactly.
Hey, you get stamping?
Yes, I think we're ready. I think we've kind of gabbed here enough. I'm going to put my catalog aside. You're going to start us out, right?
Yes, so this month, in case you don't remember, you have your packet. We're doing Desert Details. So this wonderful stamp set here is the one that we're going to be featuring. And the paper that went along with it is just gorgeous. And you'll see us use some of it. And then if you were one of the people who participated, you got it in your packet and you've probably gone through it and drooled just like we did. Because the 2 papers that we've included in your kit. And if you're not familiar, we sell this as a kit and you get products. So you got paper, you get, I don't even know, paper and embellishments. And I'm trying to get
the shakers, the pieces for the shakers.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so you
Mhm.
got all that in your kit, and you get at least $20 for the product, and the kit with the packet is $35. So it's a very great value. But if you don't, that's okay, because we're going to give you you're going to be inspired by what the 4 cards that we're stamping today. So
Mhm.
let's go ahead, and I'm going to take you down to my desk. So we're going to do desert detail, and I'm going to share card number 1. So this is the first card, and it uses some of that beautiful paper. I hope you can see it. There's this gorgeous metallic. Betsy, can you remember the name of that paper?
It's
Uh,
called dry brushed metallic
Dry-
designer series
uh,
paper.
so it has the
Dry brushed
yeah,
metallic.
soft. I was going to say the colors be like a soft succulent, and then the other one's a calypso coral, I believe. So gorgeous.
Yes.
Card is super simple. So what you got in your packet, and then I've got additional pieces in here, because if you did the you get envelope, of course, and this is enough to do 1 card. If you did the kit, then you have gotten a half packet, and you'll cut your own of the designer series paper and of the dry brushed metallic. So that, but in your packet you'll have the gold from the elements, the twine, and then a stitch circle, some white cardstock for the inside. You'll get a strip, a 1/2 inch strip for the outside. You'll get a piece that you'll emboss with your favorite folder. I used the honeycomb folder. Really, this is where we've always taught that you stamp it your way. So you use whatever you have. Texture is just beautiful on this card. So, and then a half sheet, which is 5.5 by 8.5 of cardstock for your card base. So this card is not a complicated card. Sometimes I do some fancy folds, but this time I just wanted to do a card that I just thought was pretty. This is just a really pretty card. So I'm going to start by attaching my emboss piece. And I forgot to say what you'll need. I wanted to say what you'll need, complete all the cards. So you'll need many glue dots. You'll need some either seal or liquid adhesive. You'll need some Stampin' Dimensionals. And then you'll need your, if you got these in your kit, but these are the gold,
Faceted.
yeah, sequins. And then the 2 colors that you'll need, just 2 colors, is soft succulent and gray granite. And I'll show you how to do those. So I meant to pull those out so that you could see what you would need. And then you're going to take your 2 pieces of designer series paper, and you want to do this on a slight angle. So these are 5 inches by 2 inches, and you can do all you want to do is make sure that the whole card is covered. So you can see on the back, I'm going to have to do a little bit of scissor work, but I want to attach.
Is that how you did that? I
Yeah.
thought you did some fancy cut on your cutter. I didn't
No.
realize you just put it on there and trimmed it.
Yeah, super easy. So all I did was put it on an angle just like this. And I want it to go all the way off the edge. Okay, so that's why I want to make sure I'm not getting off this point. So I want this point to be right on the corner, and then whatever angle. Okay, so that's exactly what I did.
Smart.
And
oh my
then
God, so smart.
yeah, so once in a while. And then all you do is take your snips. Yeah, oh yeah, I went the easy way on that. Yeah.
Oh, I thought yeah, that's it's a great way to get a cute angle without having to really worry about how, like, measuring and then putting in your trimmer and cutting at a certain angle. Yeah, that's way easier.
Exactly. And then you're going to take your metallic. Now I want to make sure that I've got this gold, most of it showing, and I'm going to put that right on there. You're going to make sure you're off of each side. You don't want to have any of the soft succulent cardstock showing there. This card goes together really, really quickly. So you can see it's already, half together. Then this piece that we're going to stamp on with the greeting can just go in between. And if you want more of the metallic showing, you can drop it down here. If you want more of the designer series paper, you can go up, or you can just hit it right in the middle. So what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to go ahead and stamp this, because first I thought, well, I'll lay it on there, but I think I'm going to go ahead and stamp it just in case I make a boo-boo. So what I did is I took the Stampin' Right markers, and I'm going to just say quickly, our Stampin' Right markers have been revamped too. So if you're a Stampin' Right marker fan, if you like the water-based marker, yeah, I couldn't think of base, water-based markers, then these are great, and they're great for doing marker to rubber. So what I'm going to do is I just want the word in here. I just want the word smile. Okay, so when I first did this card, I put the words let the fun begin. And then as we were designing, Betsy had that on one of her cards, and I thought, oh, I want to do something different. So I went ahead and redid it and just used the word smile. When you're doing it, you want to huff. I don't want the word to be all the way at the end. I'm going to bring it in just a little bit. I hope I did okay. It's not bad.
Ooh, nice.
Gosh,
nice job.
Once in a while, I told you. And then you're going to go
roll tonight.
I know.
You're on a roll tonight.
Crazy. Okay, so I love this paper. I'm going to kind of go a little more of that showing. And it's easy to line it up because this design is now going on an angle. So it was really, really easy to get it going just parallel to that.
What color marker did you use to do the word?
I'm sorry. Thank you for saying that. I use the Evening Evergreen. So Evening Evergreen and Soft Succulent will be retiring at the end of the month. So I'm super happy that I got to use this today in this card. So now I'm going to bring in the Soft Succulent. This is so easy. There's no die cutting. I didn't die cut. And actually, I looked at my cards. I thought, I did not use the die cuts, but you used them so well that I didn't really worry about it because I just didn't use them.
No worries. And that's the great thing about it, that you don't have to.
So there's my beautiful succulent. And this is where my dimensionals are going to come in. So I'm going to put on some dimensionals just like this. I tend to go off the edge. I don't like to stay within the box on things. So I just put dimensionals under there. And then I moved it a little bit over so it was off this textured piece. I just feel like that worked out really good. And then with your twine, you're just going to make a bow. And the only thing I would say about this twine is that you want to tie it really tight. And then I would do my fussing. So I'm going to fuss. I'm going to go back and tie it. I'm just pull it really, really. I'm not sure the camera does it justice, but so I pull it really tight. And then I'm going to bring in my mini glue dots and attach it with the mini glue dot. And I'm just going to put it right under here. Of course, I got to do a little trimming. Got some there. And the only thing I have left to do on the outside of this card is to add my adhesive sequence. And so I just again, you hear us talk about it, the rule of 3, 5 odd numbers. And then I like to put one down. I had my snips handy, so I'm using my snips, but you of course could take your pick tools. And so that's all that there is for the outside, but I wanted to stamp the inside. And actually I want to bring in some grid paper. Hold on just a second, because I'm going to be stamping off a little bit and I don't want to stamp on my background. So for the inside, that's where my gray granite comes in. And this beautiful stamp, it's kind of a Southwestern stamp, and I'm going to get it inky. This, I hope I can get it straight. I just want to put this down at the bottom. I love that look. It's so pretty.
It is so pretty. I love that Southwestern look, that Tucson, Southwestern kind of Santa Fe look. That's one of the things that made me really like this set.
So my outside says smile and my inside says you are what sunshine feels like. And then I take one of these this little succulent, and I'm going to stamp it. I was going to say I was going to post it. I'm going to stamp it right there on the side. And then I think, you know what? I'm bad about this, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it, Betsy. I'm going to
do it.
I know. I'm going to stamp my envelope while I do. I always say, oh, don't forget to stamp your envelope. But then I never show it. So I'm going to actually stamp my envelope with that
Love
pretty,
that. Love
with the
that.
pretty- but I can't stop there. I feel like, have you ever, I feel like that lady, I don't even know if she's alive. She's my first intro to stamping. I can't think of her name right now. Oh gosh, I used to watch her on TV and she'd always be like, oh my God, that's so pretty. Well, she might not have been quite, that dramatic. I saw her the other day on TV. I mean, I think it was some old rerun, but I'm like, or maybe it was on YouTube. And I thought, oh my gosh, do I miss her? She was a rainbow. She did the rainbow one. So there's the first card. Super, super cute, super
Very
simple.
cute. I love that card. And it's so simple and easy to kind of just like duplicate just with some designer series paper. It just adds such a wow.
Yeah, really, really pretty. So let me clean up and I'm gonna bring in my stuff for my second card. So give me just a second to move things aside.
So
And
interesting note is that Desert Details is retiring, folks, the bundle, but the dry brushed metallic paper actually is carrying over.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, that's carrying over into the new catalog. It's either carrying on to the new catalog. Hold on. Let me clarify. It's either carrying over into the new catalog or it's becoming an online exclusive item. I think that's what it is.
That's what I wondered. I don't think I saw it in the catalog. I was thinking it might have been an online exclusive.
It's an online exclusive. So it's going to be one. Yeah, you're right. So that's right. It's going to be a new item. It's going to be an item that's still available, but you can only get it through the online exclusive. So through the online store.
Okay, awesome. Here's card number 2.
Ooh,
now, I have to show you something. So I made this card.
Oh, yeah, you did. Good job.
I just want to, you know what? Seriously. I just want people to see that. Even
happens to the best of us, doesn't it?
It's so cute, though.
It's so cute.
It's like clipped here so no one can open it, but so cute. I just, I could have made you think that I was perfect.
You just send that to your favorite upside down friend and you are all set.
I love it. I can't help myself. All right. So you're going to get layers and layers and layers of paper for this card. You've got one piece for the inside. You've got your 3 layers for the outside. You've got a little piece for your to cut out your words, and then you've got your 3 border pieces. Now, when you see this card, you think, oh, that card is Calypso Coral, but it's actually Petal Pink stamped in Calypso Coral, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So this technique is called, oh my gosh, what's it called, Betsy?
Triple time stamping.
Triple time stamping. And I'm going to show you some ways to make it easier. So what I like to do is I like to take my Stampin' Seal and I'm going to take the littlest bit, and you got to do it. You got to do 2 pieces. Hold on. I got a little booger in there. You got to take 2 little pieces, because if you only put 1 piece right in the middle, your card can go like this. So you're only doing this to temporarily hold it. I put 2 little swipes of adhesive, tiny little swipes. This is only to keep things in place, because if you only put 1 in the middle, this layer is going to twist on you and you don't want that. But when you're done stamping it, you're going to need to remove the layer. So by having 2, it's not going to twist on you. So that's the reason that we do it that way. And the colors that we're going to use today, we're going to use the Soft Succulent, and we're going to use Evening Evergreen, both retiring. And then we're going to use Petal Pink, and we're going to use Calypso Coral for our flowers. So let's start with our flowers. You're going to need you can use a sponge dauber, you could use a blending brush, or you could just do the old-fashioned rock and roll technique. I prefer the dauber. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp my big flower fully in Petal Pink. I'm going to open up my Calypso Coral, and I'm going to take my dauber, and I'm just going to daub the edges.
I love that 2-tone.
With the Calypso Coral, and I'm going to put 1 flower here. Now, because I'm, oh, this, this petal pink and this one is, oh gosh, it's brand new. Super. I might have to change that. How's that look, Betsy? Does it look terrible on the camera?
No, I don't think so. I think when you have those new pads, I say give it a second or two, because I found with one of the new pads I was with, like the Lemon Lolly, it came out so dark, a different color. But then by the time it had dried a little bit, it actually did pretty good. Oh, check out you. Look at you doing that.
Try something. Okay. So I'm going to use this is fine because I can just wipe that off when I'm done. I'm going to try to get that ink out of the way. So this is a brand new pad. It's never been used. So that's why the Calypso Curl is no here nor there, because I'm just sponging it on. So it doesn't matter if I get a lot.
So are you doing that? So is the goal here because it's a distinctive stamp?
Because it's a distinctive stamp. Exactly. That's exactly where I was going. Because it's a distinctive stamp, which means that it's a photo image. That's so much.
Ooh, look at that.
That it needs less ink is more. Okay. So we're done with this color for now. And then we're going to do the little one in the Soft Succulent and the Evening Evergreen. Now these are not new pads, and you'll see the difference. I actually didn't bring another dauber in. So we're going to do the Rock and Roll for this one. So this is the Soft Succulent.
We like to learn on the fly. We just learn on the fly.
Yeah. No, that's fine. So we're gonna, so you'll see there's some, don't be worried by the hiccups, the places that are missing, because remember, we're gonna be, I'm just rolling it just a little. And we're gonna be, I'm gonna start up here. I think I just put my pinky.
So show that technique again for those that might not know that.
I'm gonna do it 3 more times. So I'm gonna stamp in my lightest color. I'm gonna take my pad, and now all I'm doing is rolling. I'm rolling just the edge. Okay, so that gets a little dark just on the edge, and I'm going to stamp here, and I'm kind of cleaning it. So it's got a dark edge on it.
So rock and roll, right? Rock and roll.
Rock and roll. Rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
To stay.
Perfect.
And I'm going to do it one more time. It's really pretty. It's really a pretty effect. It's a nice way to get 2 semi-similar colors on it at one time. So I'm gonna leave the Evening Evergreen out, and I'm gonna put away the Soft Succulent, and I'm gonna bring in, or I'm just gonna leave that there. I'm gonna bring in some of my words. So I'm using different words for this by, wait, I gotta look at them. Okay, by cutting my words out. So I need the word pure. So I don't care as long as I have the word pure somewhere on there. And this whole piece here, you are pure sunshine. So now I'm going to just take my snips, and I'm going to cut out. I've been doing this a lot lately. So if you're watching some of my channel, you'll see I've been using this technique a lot.
I like this technique. I like the fact that you can kind of pick and choose words that you want to use and have them go in different areas.
They're easy to do. It's fun. Yeah. Sometimes you don't think, well, what I like about it is you get different sayings by looking at all the words that are in the set, because usually they're in the same font, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what's fun about it, is because they're in the same font. Usually, sometimes they're mixed fonts, but you can just make up your own saying, and that's what I'm doing here. So now I want the sunshine, and then I'm going to set those aside. But I wanted to do that while I had the Evening Evergreen pad out. All right, so we're going to set this aside, and this piece aside, and then we're going to bring in our borders. And I just did something to my stamp, and I didn't do it when I first created this card, but I want to show you what I did. So this does not hurt your stamp because I'm not doing anything, but I took my scissors because I want this to be a nice close edge. I took my, but that tiny, you can see it here, there's about 1/16 of an inch of rubber. That throws me off a little bit when I'm doing this. So having that all the way here should help. So we're going to use Calypso Coral. And like I said, this stamp, this one is brand, whoops, I got glue on my block and I tossed everything. I'm going to lose, there's my pure, I'll probably lose all my words. I know.
Everything's sticking. Everything's sticking.
There's glue right here and it is, I just want to make sure I have my words. Okay. So there is a little technique to this, but don't worry if it doesn't match up perfectly. It's fine. All right. So you're going to go all the way down to the edge. Now down here, let's see, how did I do? Not bad. Okay. Now you can go ahead and go around. Just inked my adhesive. And it doesn't have to be perfect because you can, you are going to be hiding. So I can go back in there and just cover
I
that.
like that.
So it looks like, oh my gosh, I have to do this. I'm going to start off and show you one way. You could go around it by leaving the space about the size of your stamp. I'm going to try to come in on this one, right on the edge. I want to go right on the edge. So there's a lot here, but we're covering up most of it. And then finish off here by going across. So that's how I try it. I've got a little hiccup there. I could try to come in here, or what I did on the card is I just took my gem and I covered that little spot with a gem. Yep. So you could just take a tip here and go like that. And it's going to be
always room for embellishments. Always room for embellishments.
Yeah, goodness. But it looks crazier than it will here when I'm all said and done. You'll see.
I love that look.
Yeah, it's just a really cool, it's just a really fun thing. So I would normally just take an embellishment there. I'm gonna go like that. Okay.
Perfect.
Because it really doesn't matter. So now it's time to take these apart. Let me close this just because I will get it all over.
You'll put your hand in it.
Yeah, it's just the top apart because I only used small bits of adhesive. So we're going to start by layering this piece here. And
so you got that two-tone look coming through on the sides. Very pretty.
Yeah. So it's going to look a little funny until we put it all together. Okay, so there's that. Now we just have to match it up. So I knew I had double flowers on here. So I'm going to, it's an illusion. Mm-hmm. It's an illusion of the whole flower. That's pretty good.
That is pretty good. Look at that. Nice. I love how it just all starts to come together.
It totally comes together. So by kind of looking, at equal distance, then it forms the whole picture. So now I'm going to take my pieces here, and I don't think I have any liquid adhesive in front of me. So I'm going to try to do my best with a little bit of this, and I want to put sunshine. I like to work backwards sometimes. Mostly I do it a little backwards. I work from the bottom up. Okay. And then I try to keep it kind of on. You can kind of play with it a little bit. Okay. Oh, look it. Woohoo.
Oh, in the right direction too. Nice job.
Go figure. And then I'm going to add a little bit of embellishment. So if I saw, like, I actually don't see any major faux pas. So I'm going to go ahead and just do my rules of 3. And I'm only using the sequin shapes because Betsy's going to use some of the other pieces on her card. So there's that. And then we can stamp on the inside. I didn't stamp on this one, so I'm going to make it up. I think I'm going to see if this is still pulled away. And I'm just going to stamp. I'm not going to stamp it all the way on. I'm going to stamp just this corner. Oh, I like that. See, it's
Pretty.
good. It's so much prettier now.
Right.
Oh, I should have done my envelope.
So you used your bone folder to kind of push the ink out of the way. What other things could you maybe use to push it out of the way? Like,
okay, I would use this because this is what I use for when I'm inking my pads. You can even see ink here. When I'm inking my blocks, inking my pads, I use my block to move the ink. You could use a bone folder. You could use a spoon or a plastic knife. What have you used?
I only ever use a spoon. I never thought about using a block. My mind is like blown at the moment because I feel like I could get more even pressure by using a block.
Yeah, when I ink my pads, I only use a block, and I take the block and I open my pad, I ink it, and then I take the block and I just pull the ink across it with a block because I have a block. I don't always have a spoon. I mean, sometimes I do have a spoon, but
if you could see me right now, my jaw is like on the table. I'm like, I never would have thought of doing that. I've scrambled trying to find spoons thinking I need a spoon to do it.
Oh no. Yes, great. I'm glad. I'm so glad.
My gosh. Yeah, mind blown. Hello.
Okay, so there's our 2 cards.
Nice.
Okay.
Those cards were great. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. So moving on here to my 2. Now we're gonna hope, fingers crossed. It's been a while since I've made these cards. I've been trying to work so much in advance because of other things going on that it's been a while since I actually made these cards. So I'm praying that I have everything here, and I'm really hoping that I remember how to put them together. So fingers crossed. Okay. So this is the 3rd card in your packet. I just, again, love that kind of that Santa Fe. So Mary Ellen showed you the stamp set earlier. Let me give you just a look at these dies. And the die we're using on this card is this little guy right here. Okay. And what I did was I did die cut it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. 7 times we're going to die cut that to get those images for the front. I'm going to use some of these other dies for my the number 4 card, but that's the die that I used for this one. I also use the Time Worn Type 3D embossing folder to emboss these pieces. Now, if you don't have this folder, that's okay. You can use any folder that you have at home. This whole Stamp It Your Way. You can make it your own and do it your way. Okay, so in your packet, this is Sahara Sand. This is another color that is retiring. We have Sahara Sand. You've got your piece for the card base. You've got your pieces for the front and the inside. And then you should have 3 pieces of basic black. And these are mostly to layer for, they're like 1/8 of an inch bigger, 1 for the inside and 1 for the front. But you have a 3rd one, and that's what you're going to use to die cut your 7 pieces. Okay, so you use this piece to die cut those 7 pieces. You also, of course, have your envelopes, and then you have a scrap piece of Sahara Sand for the greeting. So I went ahead and I already did the die cutting on these, and I also already did the embossing. I don't know if you can see that very well in the camera or not. Oh, there you go. You see it now? Yeah, there's the embossing. So what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and start to put these on here. I tried to do it as easy as possible to not make it super complicated. I do use liquid glue with mine. I found it a little easier. But what I want to do is I'm lining up these 2 points here with the top of the cardstock. And I'm lining up this little triangle here with the side of the cardstock. So I know that that's going to go right there because it lines up here and it lines up here. Easy, right? No guessing, no having to try to figure it out. So what I do is I put a little bit of glue here, but I also found that on these little tiny triangles on the ends, they tend to lift. So I went ahead and I added a little bit of glue to those and again, less is more. You don't need a lot, just a little bit of glue just to help kind of help hold those down. So again, I'm going to line that up on the side and at the top like that. Easy. Now I know that this bottom one down here is going to line up in this bottom quarter. So I'm going to take another one and I'm going to do it down here, and I'm going to start down here, and I'm going to do the same thing that I just did. So I'm going to add a little bit of, let me find the right side, a little bit of glue here and then a little bit of glue just on that little triangle. Okay, you don't need a lot, just a little bit goes a long way. I'm going to line this up along the bottom and along the side. And there are my first two. Now it's just a matter of building from there, and you can kind of start to put them down to get an idea of how close they need to be to each other. So this little triangle is always going to be over here meeting up with the sides, but it's a matter of how close do I need to get them all on. See that? So I can see I have a little bit of room. It's just a matter of kind of playing with it to see where they're going to go. Easy, right? So I'm going to quickly just kind of put these on.
You know what I love about this is my favorite card out of all 4 cards. This is my favorite one, believe it or not. But you know what I love about it? Because I could see the possibilities with this design. I could see, okay. I love this black, and Sahara Sand's one of my favorite colors I'm going to really miss. But I could see the possibilities of going with the bright Southwestern, Santa Fe colors too. Right. And changing this completely around. So right now it's a masculine style, although I think it would be good for anybody, but then you could just completely change this. If you did this even in a totally, let's say pastels, this would give you a totally different look, and you could use that as background and then add floral, let's say. So I'm totally enamored with this card, and I hope everyone else is too. And they see the possibilities. This is a great stamp it your way type project.
Yeah, just change it up, make the colors. I agree. And that's a great idea with changing it up and seeing what the effects are going to be and how it's going to look. Now, one of the things that I like, and I'm a big advocate for the liquid glue, right? I talk about it all the time. It's pretty much all I use, because if you've noticed, I've been able to have a little bit of wiggle, right? So if I don't get it right where I want it, I can just wiggle that into place and move it, because I have the flexibility of it not adhering right away and being able to move that around to get my image like that. But I felt like, okay, I have this gap, right? I have a gap up here and a gap up there, and it just doesn't quite work right. So what I did was I took the 7th one, and I'm not going to need these 2 little triangles, because the way that it actually hits, the triangles are going to actually be off this page. So the first thing I'm going to do is, to make my life easier, is I'm just going to trim those right off. Okay. And then if you want to use a paper trimmer, you can do that, but I'm going to just eye it, and I'm going to cut this right down the center like that. So now I have one for here, and I have one for here.
I love that.
Right? So this is actually going to go off the page a little bit. I don't need the whole thing. I'm going to, again, get that, I'm probably off camera. I'm going to get a little bit of that on those triangle-y ends, because I don't want to make sure that they're not lifting for me. And again, I'm going to look at my pattern and see where I need to go to line that up. And I'm going to line up that. Actually, I don't want to line it with that. It looks funny, but I'm bringing this line down. Do you see it? So it actually comes down, thank goodness for liquid glue, because I just messed that up. So what you're going to do is you're going to actually line that up, bring it down, because look at see the little points, right? So I don't want to go too high with that. I don't actually want that in the corner, because I don't have this piece. Now I can trim off the excess. Does that make sense? So let me do it again up here. So I'm going to add a little bit of the adhesive. All right, do a little bit here and here. There we go. And then I'm looking at this kind of indent, and I'm looking where that indent's going, and I'm going to line it up that way. So try doing it that way instead of the first way I did it. Like I said, it's been a while since I've made these cards. There you go. Now you see it. Now it looks like a continuous pattern, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and let that set up for a second. Now on the greeting, so my greeting, I had hello. And as I was getting ready for this tonight, I could not remember what stamp set I pulled that from. So we're going to wing it. And we're gonna kind of do what Mary Ellen was just doing earlier, is we're gonna, I thought, well, let's try sunshine. Because there's so many words that you could put on there, right? And I thought, well, let's try the sunshine. And I'm just using Memento ink for this one. And I'm doing the exact same thing she just did. I'm just gonna cut that out. It seems to be the trend right now to cut out the words. So we have those different greeting sets now that have the dies that actually cut the words out, which is great. I'm just gonna flag this end here.
Yeah, I'm looking at the words and looking at all the phrases I could do, like sending you sunshine.
Right.
Or you feel like magic. I don't know what that means.
Not sure about that one.
Well, there's one greeting that we don't use, and I think that's sending warm rays your way. So, there's just a lot, or sending the fun. That's one. That would be a really fun thing to do. Sending the fun.
Sure.
I like that. Yeah.
So I just did sunshine instead of hello. We can make it whatever you want.
Yeah.
All right. And then this guy goes on here onto our basic black. If you are one that likes to conserve paper, put it on, and if you cut it really good and you leave yourself enough border, you could actually use that piece behind this piece if you wanted to.
Oh, that's good. Great.
Right? When you want to conserve paper, do the die cutting behind the one that's going on the front, because nobody's going to see that. So do your die cutting on that one and then use that as your layer.
Oh, cool.
All right. Now we gave you 47, what was it? 47 inches.
It was a lot.
I was like, 47 for 2 cards or 1 card? I'm like, oh, just for 1.
I'm like, that's 100 inches, basically, 194 inches or whatever it is for I'm like, man, I should have just given you a whole roll.
I'm giving you way more than what you need, but I like a big old bow on mine, right? So I wanted to have I wanted to have 3 wraps. I wanted to have a bow on it. Now some people say, oh, masculine cards shouldn't have a bow, which is fine. Then just tie it in a knot. There's nothing that says that you have to do it a certain way. I liked having all these little danglies off of here. So I'm going to be being nice big tails. It's all on what you like. If you don't like it that way, then feel free to just tie it into a knot. I'm going to use, do I have any mini dimensionals around here? I think I do. I think I do as I reach halfway across my.
Because it's linen thread, it could have a bow because it's almost like a tied package.
Oh, there you go.
You might do a bow for Christmas. You have a bow, but I am kind of, funny about that. So I hear what you're saying.
Yep. Yeah. Some people are that way. They just are like, I don't know about that. And I'm like, I don't. Yeah.
I never thought that on this card. I never thought that way. So
with the bow on it.
Yeah.
Because I think it just blends in.
Didn't register. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it blends in. So I just used a couple dimensionals. I just used sunshine on this one. I'm going to use some dimensionals on the back of this to pop this up on the front. One for good luck. And then there is my card front. Now, it was very interesting hearing you talk about this particular stamp and that border of rubber along the edge, because mine, if you look at it, actually is not cut straight. So look how much rubber is on this side versus how much rubber is on this side.
Yeah. And normally I'm not used to cutting my stamps anymore, but that did not bother me because it's not usable. I mean, it needs to get off. It needs to come off.
It needs to come off there. But I did not, I'm not as smart as you. I am not as smart as you.
I don't know about that.
I did not even enter my mind to just cut it, which I probably should have done. So I was trying to figure out another way to use it without cutting it, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink this up. And I find that when I have a bigger stamp than ink pad, I find it's easier to put the stamp down and then put the ink pad onto the stamp, because then I can really see if it's getting inked. All right. So here is what I did, not near as smart as hers. I took my paper and I lined it up. So I wanted it to line right up with it. So I started with one side, one corner, and I just pressed that down. And then just took my finger and kind of ran it down the stamp. Now, I'm going to get a little inky, but I'm okay with that. And now look at this, what I got.
Yeah.
So I found that I could get a little bit of a better border that way because I was having a heck of a time stamping it because it was not, even though I was trying to stamp it straight, it was not going straight because my stamp is not straight.
Well, that's perfect. That would be a perfect thing to do for that other card, the triple time stamping, because you get, if it's not coming out right, I would recommend this little technique. I love it. I love it.
Just lining it up on there. I've done that with the big stamps. You have those big full stamps, the full size stamps. I find that's easier if I just line it up and then just rub over top of it. Like sometimes I'll put a piece of scrap paper over it and then rub. That seems to work a little better, but for this, it just kind of worked to do it that way.
Great.
And then that is going to go on one of the pieces of black. This card's super easy. I mean, it's not hard, right? It's a little bit of die cutting, but it's not hard for this card to go together. It's just lining that up, and I love this. I mean, this to me, I know you and your brights, but I'm like, this just makes my heart happy. It's like, oh,
I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. When I saw that card, I'm in love with it.
All right. The last thing that I wanted to do is we have these sequins, right? These gold faceted sequins, and they come kind of different. And I saw these, like, to me, they're crescent moons. They look like crescent moon shapes at the top. And I'm like, what do you see that a little bit better? I was like, what do I do with those? How do I use those? I'm not really sure. So what I did here was I just added them to each one of my little patterns. Actually, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I didn't do one here because I had the greeting coming off of it. So that hit my odd, right? We talk about 3 5s, staying in the odd numbers. So I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I just added those crescent shapes. They have adhesive already on them. And it just gave it that little pop of gold that it needed, right?
Yes, I love that.
Isn't that cute?
Great way to use those shapes.
Right, just to add a little bit of shape to it. All right, so that is card number 3. Super easy. That was Memento. That was the Sunshine. Very easy. And the Gems. All right, now let's move on to card number 4. Now, card number 4 has a little bit more steps to it, but the payoff is totally worth it, right?
Agreed.
Agreed. And I would love to show you what it looks like if I could find it on my desk. Here you go. Who doesn't love a shaker card, right? Let me get I got a glare there. Let me get that out of the way. Who doesn't love a shaker card? I love it. And one of the things that I liked about this the most is those succulent pieces that are inside. Don't they look like dewdrops?
They really do. They really
look
do.
Like there's just like water dewdrops on them. Yeah.
Yeah. They really do look like dew.
They do look like dew. You got it. You got it. All right, everybody.
Well, it's better than do. I'm sorry, people. I couldn't.
Going downhill fast here, folks. It's going downhill fast. All right. Let me find. Okay. So you have a piece of soft succulent, which is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 by 11. And then you're going to cut in your designer series paper, you're going to cut a piece of designer series paper for the inside. Now, I do want to show this card only so that you have choice. Remember, this is Stamp It Your Way. When I first did it, I did it as a tone on tone. Can you see that? So I did more that the whole thing was soft succulent with the designer series paper behind it. I even stamped my flowers soft succulent versus doing soft succulent, then having a little bit of that Cajun craze in there. So you make the call on what you like better. If you like more of like the tone on tone, you can choose whatever designer series paper you want to use out of your packet, because that's how this works. You make it your own. I'm going to show you though with the Calypso, I would keep wanting to say Calypso Coral, Cajun Craze. You're going to cut that. And then you're also going to cut a piece of the brushed metallic, the dry brush metallic. You have a piece of 4x4 of your soft succulent. And what you're going to do with that is you're going to die cut these pieces. They kind of look like flames. They look like they're succulent pieces, but they look like flames. Here, let me grab the die again. So that's this one. Okay. So you're going to need that. You actually need this die, this one, and this one. So you actually need all three of those dies, and you need the 2 flower dies. Okay. For this card. So you're going to cut 2 of these for each. You're going to cut 4 of those total. So you have 2 for each card. You're also going to have some white, which is, what did I say that was? 4x2 3/4. All right. And then you have some window sheets as well. And you have a piece of white that is 5 1/4 by 4. Okay. And of course your envelopes. All kinds of pieces of paper on this one. Scrap for greeting. Okay, so let's get you cutting first. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this piece. Let me slide this out of the way. You're going to take this piece to start. And you are going to die cut this die like that. All right. And what you're going to get is you're going to get this frame and you're going to get this inside piece. Keep the inside piece. We're going to use it on the same card. Okay. So you're going to use both of those. You're also going to take one of your pieces of basic white and you are going to use the smaller frame die and you're going to cut that out there. And then you're going to get this. Okay. So these are the 3 die cuts that I have right now. So I have the frame, outside frame, I have an inside piece, and then I have an inside piece. These 2 are eventually going to go together for your inside. Now this is one very fancy inside, right?
Yes, it is.
That's one very fancy inside, but I thought if I'm cutting it, I should use it, right? So why not cut it and put it in there and have it all kind of coordinating? So these 2 pieces are eventually going to go in the inside. This will be used for the front. This will be used for the front. One of your pieces of window sheet, and then one of your designer series paper. So we're going to use that to put that card together. But in the meantime, you're going to stamp, and you've kind of already seen how to stamp this. So I'm going to save us a little typing time. Obviously, I've been working way too much this week already, and it's only, save you stamping time. You're going to stamp your flowers. I'm using Cajun Craze for the large succulent, and I'm using the soft succulent for the small succulent plant. Okay, so I need one of each of those for my card, and then I will stamp the greeting here after we put the shaker together. All right. So let's do this. I'm going to take the frame piece and I'm going to turn that upside down, and I'm going to take my window sheet. And what I want to do is I want to apply this directly to the back. They should be exactly the same size. And I'm going to glue that to the back. So I'm going to take some liquid glue. I'm just creating a little frame. Watch around your little points. Make sure that you add some glue around those as well, because we want that window sheet to really stick to the frame. There we go. And I'm going to pick this up and then a little bit of static there. Get it? And then line that up. Be careful that you don't squeeze too much or push too hard. And if you're pushing, kind of pull away, because if I push this way, then all of a sudden when I look at my window, I'm going to see glue coming out, right? And I don't want that. So just be careful. You don't have to really push it down, kind of set it aside and let that dry for a second. I'm going to go ahead and fold our card base. I just want that to set up for a second. While you're waiting, here's a fun little tip for you, a little technique. So I wanted to have these gold pieces in my shaker frame, but they have adhesive on the backs of them. And I thought, well, how am I going to get those in my shaker frame? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel them off my sheet. And then I'm going to peel off the adhesive off the back. So that now this is just a free embellishment to kind of go wherever I want it to go. Fun, right? In my shaker pieces. So I already pre-did that for us. So I have a couple of those, and I'll throw this one in too. A couple of those embellishments that already have the adhesive taken off the back of them. So all I did was just peel it off and then just peel the adhesive right off the back of the embellishment. And those are ready to go in our shaker frame. So that's a fun way of using embellishments. All right. You're going to want to use foam adhesive strips. I love these strips. They make it easy, especially when doing a shaker frame. They make it nice and easy. Now you can trim it if you'd like. I tend to just bend and fold it to whatever way I need it to go. So I'm going to peel one of these off, leave the backing on. Don't take that off yet. And I'm going to start up here at a corner, and I'm going to start right here at one of those points. Okay, actually, you know what? I'm going to start past the point. I'm going to start past the point, and I'm going to bend it around that point. Did you see that? So that I'm bending it right there around that edge. And I'm going to run this down the side, bending as I go. Again, bending around that point. I want to stay behind the designer series paper. Okay, you can see that one kind of meets right about there at that point, right? So I'm going to grab another one. And I'm going to butt this one right up against it. I mean, just push it right into it. So make sure that they're connected, right? That there's no gap. I don't want any gap between these two where they meet up. And I'm going to run this one now along the opposite side. Right. And the same way with this one, I'm going to butt this one right as it ends. I'm going to bring it right up against the other end here. And I kind of give it a good push. Like I really kind of press it down, make sure it's really sticking to that window sheet, the back of that window sheet. And I can trim off here any excess that I don't need. All right. And save those little pieces. Trust me, you will use them. If you're doing a lot of, you can see here, like I have all these little tiny stray pieces, save them because you can use those. All right. So there is that piece. Now this is eventually going to go down onto here to create my frame. You see that? But what I want to do is I want to have these guys inside my frame. Now I had originally tried it where they were loose, but what happened is they kept going upside down and they kept going in different directions. So I'm actually going to adhere them to this piece first. All right. But I want to get an idea of where they're going to go, because if my flower is going to go here and my other flower is going here, I don't want them to be too low or I won't be able to see them. See that? So if they're down here towards the bottom, I really can't see them. So I want them to come up a little bit and be a little higher on my paper. So I'm going to take these. I got all kinds of static going on here. I'm going to take these and I'm going to put those on there. I have like one higher than the other. And I'm just using a little liquid glue again. You don't have to glue the whole thing down, just a couple spots, because it's not going to go anywhere once it's inside your frame. Okay. And I'm going to put that one here. And I'm going to do the same with the second one. And you can see that I'm barely adding any glue. A little bit really does go a long way. It's hard to kind of get used to that sometimes. I'm going to tilt this one a little bit in this direction so that they kind of look like they're the same plant, right? All right, so those are on there. Now I'm going to turn this over and I want to add add some of these effervescent elements. Effervescent elements. I think in the catalog it says that there's 3,800 little pieces. That's what it
A
is.
lot. There's a
It's a
lot.
lot. It's a lot. And they are teeny tiny little iridescent elements, little balls, little iridescent elements, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So I want to get these into my frame. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to add my gold. So I'm going to put my gold pieces in there. And I'm going to turn those over just so they're kind of facing forward. Doesn't really matter. They work either way. But I'm going to put some of those in there first, just to have those in. All right, so those are in there. Now I'm going to add some of my effervescence. Now, there are two ways you can go here. I could add those and then remove the adhesive. And depending on what I'm using as my shaker, that might work. But with these, they kind of bounce a little bit. So I find it's easier if I remove my adhesive now. Because if I go to remove the adhesive later and it kind of shifts, those little balls are going to go flying, right? So I'm going to go ahead and remove this adhesive. See how it's like moving all over the place?
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that if the balls are already in there, right? So I'm going to again move these kind of around where I want them to go just to start. They'll shift around in there anyway, but I'm just kind of spreading them out a little bit. And I'm going to add in, using a spoon. See, they're slippery little guys, right? They're going to go flying right away. I'm going to add one more scoop here. I don't really know that there's a right number, wrong number to kind of put in there. I don't want to go too many, but I don't want to go too few either. You won't see them.
Yeah,
So,
we definitely gave them plenty so they can do
yeah,
a lot.
You have a lot. Obviously, my desk is pointing down.
I was just thinking, it's not level. Desk is not level.
That's so funny to me. Oh my gosh. Yeah, there's obviously a tilt to my desk. Let's try this. Look, everywhere I go, look. It's the little things that amuse me today. All right. So if this is going to be my front, I'm going to line up my corners. So I'm going to line up this corner and I'm going to line up this corner down here, kind of being careful how you put it on there. And we're pushing this down to create the back of our shaker frame. Okay. So again, giving that a nice solid push, really kind of push it down into that adhesive to make sure it's really sticking. If you see any adhesive that's kind of poking out, just tuck it in a little bit. Okay. Tuck that one in a little bit. And there is my shaker frame. Cute, right?
Yeah, so pretty.
So cute, right? All right. So we're going to put this then, and I keep pressing. So funny story is that I've had this on my desk for, a couple weeks now. And I went to move it and it must have released inside here. So it must have let go. Somewhere or another it let go. And when I went to move it, like 1,000 of these balls all flew out.
Oh no.
All over me, all over my desk, and all over my carpet, and they just went everywhere. So now, and I still haven't run the sweeper in my office yet. So every time I look and the light hits a certain way, I can see these little balls, like these little iridescent balls, kind of shining in my carpet. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Squeeze it. Make sure that it's really adhered. And then this guy is going to go right on our front. Okay. So don't let it sit. There we go. Good job. Easy, right? And then this guy is going to get just glued to the front. Wherever you want that to go. And then I'm going to add this little guy right next to it. And then for the greeting, I use Let the Fun Begin with the soft succulent. And stamp. Easy, easy. I'm going to trim. Add a couple dimensionals to the back. Actually, I didn't do dimensionals. I did it flat because I thought it was already, there was so much lift to the card already. I felt like it didn't really need any more dimension. So I'm just going to put, let the fun begin there. And then for the inside, I thought it needed one of those little succulents. So I'm going to do the soft succulent one. I'm going to stamp, if I go the right way, I do. I'm going to stamp that there. These dies are meant to line up. So they are designed to line up perfectly so that you've got your points going in the right directions, that they line up together. And then this guy goes in the inside. I just like the inside. This is a little over the top for even me when it comes to insides. I'm a little crazy when it comes to that. My inside of my cards need an inside, but even this is a little over the top for me.
I will say I'm super happy that you said that paper was going to maybe be an online exclusive, because it does kind of makes me happy. I mean,
It
that
does.
card.
It's so well. I
Right.
have like here's the Cajun Craze one.
Yeah, I called it Calypso Coral, but I think you're right. Cajun Craze. It's so pretty.
Cajun Craze, Petal Pink, and Soft Succulent are the colors. Yes. So it will be available through the online store, through an online exclusive. So you can order, anybody can order it, even as part of a club order. You can, or a class order, you can order it because it is, as long as you have the item number, you can order it. Doesn't mean that you have to place an online store order. If you have the item number, anybody can order it in any kind of event, right?
Right.
Right. But there we go. So there is your card. And again, I can bring in that other version so you can kind of see the difference between, like, if you go with more of the monotone look versus having some color in there. What do you think?
I love it.
You love it?
Yep. Yep. Love it.
Excellent.
I love it. Well, any card that has movement like that, how can you not? I mean,
Right.
I've had it here in the nest, and my customers are always picking it up and going, "Oh my gosh, I love this card." So yeah,
It's like one of those you just can't stop playing with it, right? It's kind of like, yeah.
Just imagine the person that you send it to, how happy it's going to make them.
Right. I think it was my post office, the mail carrier that we had. She asked me one time, because I always try to do shaker cards at Christmas time. And she asked me one time, she goes, "What are inside those envelopes that you're mailing out?"
Oh my
You can
God.
hear it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's funny. That's
Yeah.
funny.
Make sure you put the lid back on the effervescent. Trust me, you do not want those things in your carpet because they don't seem to ever come out.
Betsy, I love those cards. They are so cool. So this was probably, so far, in the months that we've done Stamp It Your Way, this is probably my favorite. I'm kind of surprised to say that too, because like Southwestern is not a style that I would normally go to, but I love every single card. How about you?
Me too. I was one of the sets that I fell in love with. We, as demonstrators, got to go to On Stage. I think it was an On Stage event. And this was one of the suites that they showed us before the mini catalog was released. And I fell in love with it right away. I was just like, I just love that. And that's not something that I don't have anything in my home that's Southwest, or I have a friend who does a lot of decorating in that Southwest look, but I don't. So I was surprised as well that I was as pulled to it as drawn to it as I was. But yeah, it's a pretty one.
Yeah. So let's talk just briefly about next month. Okay.
Ooh.
Want to sneak a little sneaky peek?
Sneaky peek. Oh my gosh. Who's going
first?
You or me?
You got, well, I can do that. Like, okay. But you've got the set, so go ahead.
I have the set. Look how cute that little turtle is. Okay, so here is your set. It is called Zany Zoo. Oh my gosh. These little critters are so stinking cute.
Yeah. Right? Yes, they're so cute. And I'm going to show you the paper, because the paper to me, I don't know, it's really attracted to it. And I think why I like it is because every sheet is kind of a different theme and a different color. So let's start out with this one. And I'm just showing, as I think you can see it. So this is more pastels, more birthday theme, super cute. The back of each paper is a black and white pattern. So I love that one. Here's one that's a little brighter. And these are critters that have movement. So they're all doing something, whether they're on a bike or skates or a little scooter. Super, super cute. Then we've got my favorite, which is probably, and we're kind of back to pastels, but all the things that you just do sedentary, like here's the sloth and baking and knitting and painting. So there's the sedentary. Super cute background again. I don't show you the background on this one. So another black and white pattern. And then music, we've got music. So if you're into music, again, these are bright colors, but super cute. And then the little dots, polka dots, white with black. And then the outdoor, if you're the outdoorsy. So it's just hit every genre of activity. So we've got outdoor and we're back to some pastels and then these cute little flowers, which I absolutely love. So I'm in love with this and I've loved everything. I like the cards that we've done. So
I know I'm so excited about our cards. And I and I know some friends of mine that would look at this and be like, oh, I don't know, because they don't necessarily like the color. But
then you've got, that's the thing about, that's what I like about this, because some of the dyes match the paper.
Yes.
So not color.
No coloring needed. No coloring needed.
You have both. You hit both, right? Color or not.
Yeah,
So,
I think our cards do both, as a matter of fact. But yeah,
I only have a little bit of it because I used it for something. But look at, there's for the dancer, and then a little white with black pattern again. So I forgot to show that one. Super cute.
So registration for that's going to open up on May 1st.
Yeah,
and we'll run until May 10th.
That's correct.
And then we'll order May 11th and then start prepping. So, but we are both going to be out of town at the end of the month. We are headed out on our incentive trip to Norway. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm not sure if I'm more excited to see Mary Ellen, to be on a vacation where I can sit back and do nothing, or actually to see Norway. I'm not sure which one of those is more important, but I just need all three. So
yeah, agreed. I agree. Yeah. I'm so glad that everybody joined us today. I'm so happy. So whether you're watching just up on YouTube or whether you're a subscriber, we're glad that you came to watch us do the desert details and do it, stamp it your way, and that maybe you were inspired to create create your own way. That's our goal, right? Yeah.
We want to see it too. Please share with us what you're seeing, what you love. And if you have the new catalog, if you see a suite in there or that you like, or a bundle in there that you would love to see us use, tell us, let us know. Your inspiration helps our inspiration. So we want to be as inspired by you as hopefully you're inspired by us.
That's correct.
All right. We all done for tonight? I think we're good.
I think so.
All right. All right, everybody. We are signing off. Bye.
Bye, everybody.